So this is that gear-driven alternator that seized up. The bearings came out of it. It's gear-driven on the Detroit Diesel 8V71, and it just, luckily it pushed it to the side a little bit, but it's still chewed up. The gear is really bad, and the bearing cage is missing. And so we're gonna clean out the gear train on here. We're gonna drop the oil pan, check for metal in the pan. There's definitely gonna be metal down there. And we're going to do a bearing inspection. So we're gonna drop some main bearings on it and take a look and see how much metal's gone through this. So normally this is a catastrophic failure on the engine, so we're really lucky that the gear train is still intact. But it's definitely gonna take some labor and some work to get this fixed up. There's all the metal down in the oil pan. This is on the 8V71 on the M side that lost the alternator. I'm gonna try and get all that out of there. Put it in a little tin. Go around there again. There's definitely a lot of metal. Got a big chunk right there too, that round. Yeah. Oh, it didn't pick up. Crap on the magnet. That oil pan is pretty dented up too, ain't it? Just keeps getting better. Don't get a sliver in your fingers. That's It's all metal from the oil pan. The dime is just there for scale for you. That's the drive gear teeth. Looks like a monster. Cool. I washed off a bunch of the fine particles just to leave some of the bigger ones behind here, but since it's all attached to this magnet, it's kind of sticking together. But you can all see these big pieces, plus there's a ton of very fine particulate matter that was in there too, that tiny little shavings and flakes. There's still more metal in the pan besides all that other stuff we had out in that magnetic tray. You can just see it's everywhere. And there's still a bunch up at the magnet. Little granddaughter Ellie came out to the shop and was helping me work on the Volkswagen thing. It's so fun having her come over for breakfast every morning, getting to see her every day at lunch, and then at nighttime for dinner. But she's getting so big so fast. Got Jonathan for his tool cart here, the Quinn Master Technician tool set. 428 pieces, both standard and SAE that's in there. Lots of wrenches and sockets and screwdrivers and Allens and all kinds of stuff. This is from Harbor Freight, and they are a lifetime warranty tool that you can get exchanged over at Harbor Freight. So it's a good set for him to start. He's got everything there in his toolbox, from 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch drive stuff. Lots of wrenches, ratcheting wrenches. We'll show the whole set once he gets it open, but pretty cool box. Heavy. I'm hoping you can see. That's like a divot in the main bearing.
this down?
Yeah, go ahead and wipe the crank down. Take a look at the crank. All things considered, the crank actually looks pretty decent here. I'm shocked how good it looks. I really expected to see a lot more lines through there. So we'll clean it up with a microfiber towel and see what it looks like. But really, yeah, it's way better than what I thought it was going to look like. The bearings look terrible, but the crank's in good shape. Thank goodness. So here we're just going to cut open this oil filter and inspect it and see how much of that fine particulate matter is going to be in here. We don't want to see a bunch of, well, I mean, we'll see some in there because it means it's catching it, but we'll just want to see how much of that fine metal shavings and stuff are inside this filter.
Okay, you guys want to put that somewhere and start spreading those elements?
It's just microscopic stuff that's in there. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Filter doesn't look like the bottom of the filter doesn't look bad either. Had a couple little specks in there, but it's not a lot.
Yeah, I can definitely see some glittery.
But it's not horrible. Not what you'd expect.
Jonathan's got all these wrenches now and all these sockets. That's a good set. And all those screwdrivers and stuff came with the set too. This was stuff we already had, the Icon stuff. So most of that is what came in the set. So here's a couple more close-ups of these bearings. You can see how much they're worn. There's like these big deep divots in them and stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. But we're gonna clean up the crank on it, put all new main bearings, rod bearings are going on it. So we're just gonna redo the bottom end on it. And hope that it lasts them for a while. In an ideal perfect world with an unlimited budget, we would do an out of frame, get the crank redone, pull everything, get everything cleaned perfectly, and reassemble from there. But it's not a perfect world, and we're on a budget, so we're gonna try and save this for him. And it ended up being about $400 in parts to get main bearings, rod bearings, thrust washers, all the gaskets for the bottom end, and everything. And then we'll do a couple immediate oil changes on it, and I think he'll be okay.
See that white smoke rising up the holler through the trees, and from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. But at the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.